promise them today to gain if they give us their time?
They will realize that success is a lot easier than what they're doing already, and they'll realize that just by hustling non-stop is not the answer. My dad, he was a gang leader. He would say, well, what about the other person's better than you? You need to be number one in everything you do. You got to make money. You got to be successful. My first job when I was 15 in trailer vans selling burgers at fun fairs, they asked me, do you know what you're doing? I said, yes, I'm a chef. All my coaching clients came in, they wanted to grow their business, and they kept telling me all this stuff about stars and astrology and all this, and I was like, what is this?
Why breathing and the way we breathe is extremely important.
When I first moved to Dubai, I got scammed $2.5 million.
So if there is one thing you can change in your life and it takes superpower to change it, what it would be?
Time travel.
Proof. When I ask you a question, I see that your eyes are going somewhere, not here. Where does it go?
I think it's just going to the place where...
Master Sri Akarshana. Our alpha guest today is a spiritual master, a wealth creator, entrepreneur, and a transformation coach. A man who has touched the lives of over 35 million people worldwide through his teachings on the law of attraction, mindset, spirituality, and wealth creation. How did you master both? Being a businessman, proper businessman, and a spiritual leader at the end of the day.
I was only business.
Welcome back, Alpha Squad. This is the Alpha Talks show, the fastest growing show in the region, where we dig deep into the minds of the most influential figures in the world. Our Alpha guest today is a spiritual master, a wealth creator, entrepreneur, and a transformation coach. A man who has touched the lives of over 35 million people worldwide through his teachings on the law of attraction, mindset, spirituality, and wealth creation. Once known as Eric Ho, a self-made millionaire by 25, he had it all: luxury cars, mansions, financial success, but found himself in deep depression. His journey led him from the material world to the Himalayas, where he was initiated as a disciple of Grandmaster Akshar, receiving the title of Master Sri Akarshana. Excuse me for if I'm pronouncing it wrongly. We have the man here, he will say everything correctly. So now he leads Iamverse, a platform that empowers millions to unlock their full potential through spirituality and financial wisdom. So today we'll uncover his incredible journey from wealth to wisdom, struggles to success, and self-mastery to global impact. So welcome to the Alpha Talk show. It's a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you so much for having me, brother.
And apology if I'm saying the names correctly. I'm not used to it.
No, that's fine.
Can you correct it to us?
Akarshana.
Akarshana. We usually have an opening to the show with a question. Once people see the episode published, they will see the graphics, they will see the thumbnail, they will see the name, and they will think it's extremely interesting episode. What can you promise them today to gain if they give us their time?
They will realize that success is a lot easier than what they're doing already, and they'll realize that just by hustling non-stop is not the answer.
Wow. We're all looking forward. Let's start with selling burgers back in the days. Dropped out of school, 19. Became a millionaire through a regular entrepreneurship journey. Can you take us back to these days, which is absolutely different from what we see today?
I think I've always been a hustler. Yeah. I think even today I am too. The only difference is I found something else that we refer to as these energies, you know?
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think it's been the same from the beginning. When I was at school, I was not very good at all. I was just really bad grades, and I was not good learning, and I was not popular at school at all. So today to have millions of subscribers around the world is just a crazy, crazy thing.
Sure. But
my dad was, I don't speak about this much, but he was a gang leader. And it's quite ironic, I'm right now in the alpha room. Because I grew up with that, you know, that energy. And my dad didn't know how to praise people very well. There was always someone better than you, you know? So whatever I did, he would say, well, what about the other person's better than you? You need to be number one in everything you do. You got to make money. You got to be successful. And so he drilled it into me so much that it became a part of me, you know. I felt like I have to be number one in everything I do. And so I fought, you know. I basically fought my way to making things happen. And my first job when I was 15 in trailer vans selling burgers at fun fairs, they asked me, do you know what you're doing? I said, yes, I'm a chef. But no, I wasn't, you know. I just needed to figure it out. No, I need to run my own place. I don't want other people to boss me around. So I took out a huge loan, $500,000, to open my first restaurant. I hustled my way to get it because I swiped a lot of credit cards, took personal loans and business loans and many banks and everything, and I just opened it just to prove a point. A lot of ego was involved. And but ego pushed me to achieve, I guess, what other people will call success, because I managed to pull off a restaurant franchise of 52 sign-ups.
Wow.
And
at that age?
By the age of 24, 25, yeah. So I had, already 52 people who invested hundreds of thousands of pounds, UK pounds, to open up my restaurant franchise. And so I guess... it was just this need to prove myself, I guess, to my dad that
I can make it.
I can make it, yeah.
A quick note, before we jump into this episode, I find this incredibly intriguing. On the back end of our YouTube channel, it says around 75% of you who watch this channel frequently over the lifetime of this channel haven't yet hit the subscribe button. I just wanted to ask you for a favor. It helps this channel so much if you choose to just subscribe. It helps us invite guests that give you great value. It helps us scale the production and as well makes this show bigger and bigger for you. So if I will ask you just one favor, and if you enjoyed the previous episodes and you're currently enjoying this episode, could you please hit the subscribe button? I love your support. It's incredible to see all your comments and engagement, and we are just starting. I can't wait to go on this journey with you. Thank you so much, and I will repay this gesture by making sure that everything we do on this show makes it bigger, bigger, and better. I'm committed to do this promise. Do we have a deal? Thank you so much for subscribing. It means the world to me. But you made it to a level that you became a millionaire at that age, with all the fancy cars, designer clothes, but at the same time you felt empty. A lot of people just wish to have that money success. But when you reached that point, you were saying that you felt empty. What does it mean, empty?
When you buy all the cars you ever dreamt of, all the house, yacht, everything, you always ask the question, you know, what is next? What is the point of life? Is it really that I'm supposed to buy another car or another watch or another house, or am I supposed to have another girlfriend or a more beautiful girlfriend before I'm supposed to be happy or something, you know? So I think, who teaches us about happiness? Nobody. My dad didn't teach me. My dad said, make money and you'll be successful. So I made it, and I was like, oh, I'm successful. Now what? And I guess I got into the maybe wrong crowd. I didn't do anything really bad, but I was just drinking every night. I was partying every night. So, and then I drank myself into hospital a few times. And I just started questioning, you know, what am I going to do? Do I just die here, or what? It was confusing, very confusing for me, you know. But I actually got into depression, like deep depression, and that's why I would drink myself to sleep every night.
With all the material success you had, you reached a point of depression.
It didn't mean anything to me, because I would I remember there was one trip I went out to South Africa. I got really, really drunk with my friends. I was 25 or something, 24, 25, and then I sat next to the pool with my friends. My friends were still finishing university. You need to understand, all the people who grew up with me was only just starting to make money, and so they couldn't connect with me, and they said, wow, you're so successful. And I sat next to my best friend next to the pool, and I said, you know, Pete, I said, I actually don't want to be here anymore. And then he said, what do you mean? I said, like, he said, in South Africa? I said, no, like life. I said, I think I don't know, I just want to die or something. And then he said, what are you talking about? You got everything. But I didn't feel like I had everything. I felt like I didn't even know what happiness was, you know? I used to argue with people a lot. I used to fight with people a lot. They say every master was once a disaster.
Yeah,
you know? I was the biggest disaster, I feel like then. Yeah.
And what happened? Like, so you felt empty. I read somewhere that there's a moment of time that you want to take your life. Am I correct, or?
Yeah. So, well, that's what happened, and then there was a girl who was performing during Valentine's Day at one of my restaurants, and she left at a rush, and I said, where are you going? And she said, I'm going to Kenya for a volunteer trip. I said, why are you going there? I said, isn't it dangerous? And she said, oh, you should come sometime. It's, you know, help kids. I was like, no, I'm not going to go out to Kenya. Why would I go out to Africa, you know? So that's what I thought back then. And I remember the same night, I went out drinking again with my friends. And my friend says, and I said, there's this chick from China. She said she's going to Kenya. And she asked me if I want to go with her. And I said, what did you say? What did you say? And then they said, but don't go, you know, it's really dangerous out there. You know, you might get yourself killed. I was drunk. I heard killed. And then I called Lisa up that night. And I said, Lisa, what time are you flying tomorrow? And she gave me the times. I said, I'm going to book my flight now. And I was half drunk when I booked the flight. I booked the flight and I went straight out. And my thought, and I was scared. I tell you, I was scared. Like you say, yes, I felt suicidal, but I didn't have the guts to do it myself, you know? So when I went out there, I got off the plane, never seen Africa before, never seen Kenya before. And I was just like, okay, they're going to stab me. They're going to kill me. I thought that all the way through, leaving the airport. And then I arrived at the orphanage on the first day. I seen the kids, no food, no clothes, no nothing. The most beautiful smiles I've ever seen in my life. And I just burst into tears.
Oh my God.
I was just questioning everything about what I had been told, you know, like, why are they so happy? They don't have anything. True. That changed my life. Yeah. So that's when I set up the orphanage. So it's been the orphanage, the land that we have, the school we have is home to around 340 plus kids. Yeah, it's been the last 13 years of my life. I go out every year to see them. Yeah.
So that was the start of the transformation, kind of.
Yeah, it was my first awakening. It was my first, wow, there's more to life than money.
Than just money.
Yeah.
And what happened to going to Himalayas? You said you want to go through the spiritual journey. From a guy coming from partying, cars, girls, whatever, to going into this spiritual journey. I'm sure all your, I would say, close circle was saying, like, what's happening? What's wrong with you?
Yeah. I never myself chose the spiritual journey. I didn't like, I didn't think that would happen. Yeah. After Kenya, I thought, you know, life is about giving. It's not about money anymore. And then I encountered some money problems. Because obviously I stopped focusing on money. True. I started focusing on giving. Yeah. I gave all my money away. And now I'm like, how do I give more? Exactly. So then I got the balance and I said, no, actually life's not just about giving. You need to make money to give, you know. True. If you haven't got anything, how can you give anything? So then I started working again. But this time was very different because I started to understand the importance of money. Mm-hmm. I thought, okay, now the more money I make, the more lives I can change, you know, and the more lives I can save. So I started doing my normal hustling, except it had more meaning to it. And then while I was doing that, I was asked to share my success story in an event in London. And I was the shy kid, so I couldn't do anything like that. But somehow I said yes. I did my first speech. It was terrible, horrible, really horrible. I was really scared. And then I went to pay for classes. I went to learn to speak, for confidence, all of that, and I became a speaker. And after being a speaker for several years, just very strange. Now I call them strange people. Strange people started attending my events, my business events.
Okay.
And then when they attend my business events, I say, okay, so I'll help you with your business. What's your business? Theta healing. I'm like, sorry, what's that? So, when you heal people from remotely and you transmit some frequency, I'm like, what are you talking about? Wait there. What are you trying to sell? So they start explaining to me. The more they explain to me, I'm like, wait, is this real or not?
True.
And then my next coaching client would be like, oh, so what are you teaching? Oh, I want to my Tai Chi business. I said, what do you tell me about the Tai Chi business? Oh yeah, energy is everything. And I'm like, what is this?
So you were absolutely out of this thing.
I wasn't. I didn't understand it at first. I remember many years ago, somebody gave me the book, The Secret.
Yeah.
I looked at it. I said, what nonsense. I said, what, you sit there, think positive, and you're supposed to attract everything? Because I worked hard for my money, I worked hard on my life. So I was like, no. But I couldn't avoid it because all my coaching clients came in, they wanted to grow their business, and they kept telling me all this stuff about stars and astrology and all this. And I was like, what is this? And so I had no choice, but I just started understanding it. And the more I understood it, I started connecting the dots and thinking, yeah, why is it that sometimes we don't try as hard and we get results? Why is it sometimes we really, really try and we don't get results? And it started connecting,
True.
And when that started connecting, very interestingly, some Himalayan yogi just randomly reached out from India, from the Himalayas, and said, you've been chosen to be, a spiritual master, go on the journey, a pilgrimage in the Himalayas. At first, I'll be honest with you, I thought it was some, I was thinking, skeptical mind, what do they want? What do you want from me? Yeah, what do you want from me? You want to charge me for a retreat, you want to sell something to me. And then when I started asking questions, I said, so what do I need to do? They said, I said, how much do I need to invest then? They said, nothing. I said, what? So why do you want me? I'm not good at yoga. Why me? So I never classed myself as a, master, a spiritual master or anything like that. If anything, I would say I was a spiritual gangster, So yeah, but I thought, I got nothing to lose if they're not charging. I take some team with me and make sure I'm safe. It should be okay.
True.
And when I went out there on the third day of the meditation, like
something happened.
I just went somewhere else, and I seen the future, and then I seen the past life, and then I was like, oh, what on earth is this? So then I was hooked because I wanted to know more,
But before that, you didn't do meditation, you didn't do yoga, you were not...
I did a little bit.
Yeah.
I went to some classes, I learned some things. I think yoga is stress release, calm your mind, breathe, I do some things, but not...
This connection didn't exist.
I didn't understand there's something bigger, what you're connecting to. I didn't understand, no.
Can we pause in this moment when you said that after 3 days, what was this? And you said like, oh my God, I found myself. Because I believe when this happens, I found myself. What was this moment? And how did you, okay, I'm going to stop everything now and I'm going to go through this path?
Because it was obvious that I seen something that I never seen before. It was obvious. It was obvious that I grew up with asthma.
Yeah.
So I always had breathing problem. And I seen my past life drowning. So I couldn't breathe. So then I was like, oh, that's why. So and in my meditation, in that third day, when I came back out the water, and the master, my spiritual master said, go back in there, but now breathe. And then I came back out and my asthma was gone. I was like, what is going on? So all these different links to everything that I am today was because of that, was just crazy. And that was only the beginning part, because the end part was like the end of the pilgrimage and the journey was crazy, because then I was seeing future. That was the crazy thing, because that was the forest fires and COVID and everything. And people thought I was crazy when I first talked about it. Before it happened, it was 2019, Yeah.
I'm impressed. You're a type of guy that I met who mix things that are not mixed from a society or what we see around us these days. The spirituality part and the business part as well. Because a lot of people deem that if you're on your spiritual journey, you have to do nothing, you're going in that direction, and that's it. But it's absolutely, from my standpoint, it's absolutely wrong, and I have my opinion. How did you master both? Being a businessman, a proper, I would say, proper businessman, and a spiritual leader at the end of the day.
I did them both separately, you know, because the business and money, I was only business and money before. And the spiritual, I only learned spiritual in that whole phase. Those few years, it was all spiritual. I think the hardest thing was actually after that, balancing it, you know? Because, okay, when am I spiritual? When am I business? Or can both be at the same time? Mm-hmm. So I think that was the point. And I think a lot of learning there. And I like it because in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, you know, a lot of people, they practice detachment. Mm-hmm. A lot of spiritual people, they say, oh yeah, sell your car, sell your house, sell everything, and then now you don't need anything. But in the Bhagavad Gita, it says detachment is not about not owning materials, but it's more about not allowing materials to own you. And that was a big moment for me, because I was like, yeah, if let's say people who are religious, they believe in God, well, is God abundant? Yes, God has everything. So are you one with God? Yes. So should you be abundant? Absolutely, yes, you should be. But it's not, having everything doesn't matter. That's not the problem. When you need everything, that's the problem. So right now, I people say, oh, you are still making more money. I say, of course. Why? Hey, money is powerful in this world. We can feed people who are dying right now with money. Why is money not important? Anybody who says money is not important, they don't have the. You live in this life, you pay rent, your clothes, your food every day is money. How can you say money is not important? So I say, money is extremely important. And then they say, so that's greed. I say, no, the greed for money is greed. I say, do I need money? No, I don't need money. If I don't have money one day, can I be happy? Yes, I can. I could even just sit with my kids in Kenya and just be happy. That's fine. But should I have more of it? Yes, absolutely. I'll work to have more, because the more I have, the more I can give, the more I can help. You know, I mean, you know how it is. True. How many cars can you drive?
Of course.
How many watches can you wear? How many houses can you? You know, you can only have so much, and when you have more, actually, it's more hassle.
True.
You know, now even today, you have even 4 cars. Now, how do you wash it every time, especially here in Dubai? My God, there's a lot to look after. You know, so actually, it's not about the money anymore. After some time, you know, then it's like, okay, so what next? Well, you can make a lot of difference to other people's lives, you know.
I want to circle back to the moment, which is a couple of years back, when he said, I saw my past, or I saw that I'm drowning. Then I saw the future. And at that period of time, I believe, now, I don't just want to make people get me wrong, but we live in a world of trends and something hot. Now, being spiritual or going on a spiritual journey, or a lot of people deeming to be spiritual, because it's trend, it makes money. You had it when it was not trend, when people were fighting you. Like, what are you saying? Are you sure? You're a guy used to run businesses, millionaire at 25, had all this and that, and now you're coming and talking to me about law of attraction, manifestation, meditation. What's wrong with you? And I believe, but you kept going. What kept you going? There was a purpose behind, there was an awakening. No, I'm going on this direction because I have a purpose.
I think you answered it by saying there's a purpose. You know, I think people, if money is the purpose, it's hard. The message we're sharing here, money and spirituality, is a hard message. Not many people will do it.
True. Because
there's too much hate and too much controversy. Absolutely. If you combine both.
Absolutely.
You know, it would be much easier if I just stick to yoga teacher and forget about the rest. Exactly. Then I would not get as much hate. But it's what's needed. The planet needs it. In 2019, when I was in the Himalayas, towards the end of the journey, I seen the forest fires, I seen the volcano eruption, the earthquake, all the war, all the natural disaster, all the health issues and people dying and everything. Then I knew that there has to be a reason why I seen that. And back then my spiritual master was guiding me. He was saying that, okay, so what are your skills? What can you do? What is your purpose? What can you do for the people? Why are you being able to see this? And then I said, well, I have to speak out. I have to help people. I have to equip people. How do you equip people? Well, I have to make sure people get their health intact. I have to make sure that people have the wealth to be able to get out of these financial crises. By the way, the financial crisis is still about to hit.
True.
So that's still about to hit. And there's still more war to come out. Even this has not even happened yet. There's still more war to happen. We're in spirituality, we call dark ages. It's happening now. And it will still happen for the next couple of years. So there's more disasters to happen. I like, it's quite hard for me to speak to just, let's say, a regular audience about this particular topic, because when I say it, you either believe it or you don't believe it, or you either connect to it or you don't connect to it. But the easiest way for me to put it, the reality is that I got a deeper connection with God. And when I got a deeper connection with God, everything that I do every single day is not for me. Like, what do I need? How do I need anything? I don't need anything anymore. So if I don't need anything anymore, I need to ask the question every day and say, so why are you keeping me here? There's many people dying every single day. Why are you keeping me here? And if you are giving me this blessing of life every single day, I ask myself every day, how do I repay you?
True.
Am I going to repay you by, look, you know, like this body. You look after your body so well. This body, we're gifted this body.
True.
And then people, what do they do to their body? I look at it like, if people say they're spiritual, or people say they have any connection, or they believe in God or something that's higher or bigger than them, sometimes I look at it and say, you've been gifted this thing and you're not even looking after it. So health is important.
True.
And I say, wealth, it's a game you play. You're in this lifetime, you got to play it. You play it well, learn to play it well. But it's hard, yes, but you learn it. You got to play it. Why? Because if you do play it well, you have a lot of power to be able to make difference. And you have to make that difference. So I think it's all, if I was to answer it quite simply, because I connected, I can see there's a reason why I'm here. It's like people ask me, what's your motivation? Yeah, I have no motivation. You think, when I wake up in the morning, you think I want to go to the gym? No, of course I don't. I want to sleep more. Just like everybody else, I want to sleep more. But I always look up and I'm like, hey, I'm alive today. And I say, you gave me life today. So how do I repay you? I need to look after what you give me. It's not, I don't see it as a choice, it's a responsibility,
True. I want to move a little bit to a couple of things. The first one is, you talked about the secret, the law of attraction. And I saw for you a couple of things when you were talking about law of attraction is not just being or thinking positive. There's much more to it than just, I'm a positive thinker. Can you take us through this?
Manifestation is about two things, alignment and intensity. Alignment is saying, are my thoughts, that's my conscious and my subconscious, are they aligned with what I want? Most people conscious is, subconscious is not.
True.
That's why a lot of people consciously do affirmations. I am rich, I am wealthy. Then they go to the supermarket. What's the cheapest one? So what's the point?
True.
It's contradicting.
Absolutely.
So there's one's conscious, one's subconscious. They both need to be aligned. Second is your feeling, your vibration. Some people think if I think positive, then I'll attract positive. No, because if I think, okay, I want to achieve $1 million or the girl of my dreams. But if you doubt yourself, if your vibration is lack, if I don't trust, then it's out of alignment again. So that's your second thing, your vibration. Your third thing is your action. And whenever I say action, people are saying, oh, I thought you said attraction. Why do I need to take action?
True.
And you are a physical being. Physical being must take physical action for anything to manifest. If you want to manifest in metaphysical energy, then don't take action, because you just close your eyes, visualize. Now you're on the beach. Now you're with whoever you want to be.
Enjoy it.
But if you want it in real life, then your real body needs to move. You
True.
need to open your mouth. You need to say something. So the action part, I think, is a big part that sometimes people have a misconception. They say, oh, law of attraction. Let me sit at home and think of the girl of my dreams. What do you expect? She's going to be lying naked on your bed like that. It's not just going to appear. You have to go out. You have to speak to people. You have to meet people. So I think when you align those three things in everything, every single day, and that second thing, intensity, if all my energy is focused towards that one thing, I'm going to manifest it. If every day I'm working towards that one thing, I'm thinking towards that one thing, I'm trusting towards that one thing, I'm going to make it happen. So this is the primary, like this is the basic, the foundation. When I went up into the mountains, that's different. That is talking about the secondary. That's talking about not conscious, not subconscious, but superconscious.
Oof.
Like that is talking about stars and planets and everything else that is aligning for things to happen. And people will say, oh, this is crazy now, especially on this alpha talk. What are they talking about, you know? But I'll tell you something. All people need to ask is this. Have you ever took one strategy, you do it one time, you get a result. So you think, okay, let me do it again, I'll get the result again. You do it again, no result. Now tell me why. You did the same thing. You did the same thought, did the same feeling, did the same action, but why the second time was harder? Sometimes it's harder, sometimes it's easier. When is it harder, when is it easier? When religious people will say when God permits, right?
True.
In spirituality, we'll just say when the energy is aligned. So when does energy align? Well, energy aligns depending on stars and moons. And now when people say star and moon, what are you talking about? Well, if anybody knows a female, once a month, emotions is different.
True.
Why is emotions different on moon? Because moon, what does it affect? Moon affects water. There can be no ocean waves if there's no moon.
True.
This is science. What are we made from? Mostly water.
Water.
How does it affect why does it affect once a month? It's no coincidence, you know? So that's why when I seen all of that in my training, I started to realize that, you mean there are certain days, numerology, astrology, things like that. If I take action on certain days, things are faster. On certain days, moon, star, whatever is happening, on certain days, if I try really hard, actually, I might not get a result. It's probably just time just to rest that day is even better. And so since 2019 till now, I basically have a calendar where all my book launch, anything that I'm doing, I just put it on the days. And I'll tell you something, my life has never been so easy before. Never. I cannot, I'm telling you, and this is not some people will speak some woo-woo stuff. Yeah. I'm saying I'm still a hustler. I hustle and grind every single day. But now I know, this day is risky. Emotions is high. People will cause problem. So don't do anything and don't meet people those days. That's what I do now. I just follow it. And life is easy.
Wow. I'm impressed. I want to ask you a question. You know, I manifested one thing in my life and it happened to me. All my life, I've thought it's very strange. And I thought it's like God's power that made it happen, because by nature, it couldn't happen. When I was young, I couldn't ride a bicycle. I don't know how. I kept imagining, I see all my friends riding bicycles and I kept imagining that I'm riding a bicycle as a pro. I slept. I had a dream about that I'm riding a bicycle as a pro. I woke up next day. I literally rode a bicycle like a pro. I couldn't ride a bicycle before. And I keep asking myself, how on earth this happened? Why I'm asking myself this one? Because at the end of the day, we're in life, business, correct? Where is the formula? Where is the equation? Why it worked at that time that I imagined something so much, so intensity was very high. I wanted the bicycle. I wanted to ride the bicycle. Next day, I was on the bicycle as a pro. The day before it was impossible. How this could happen? Is this the intensity? The intensity
of your energy, because your metaphysical is working. They've done research now on this type of stuff. Many research. They've had people visualizing shooting basketball. They've had people visualizing working out and their muscle grow. So it's tested now because it's metaphysical.
It happens.
Yeah. Because it happened, but it happened energy, but maybe not physical, but it makes a big difference. So
how people can align their subconscious. Conscious is one thing. How can I align my subconscious? Is I repeat some stuff so it sits in my subconscious, or I want to focus on one thing. So for people watching us, just I want to achieve this or I want to get this. So my conscious is on it. we're full of subconscious as well. How can I make sure that I can align? Just a technique. How can I get into the subconscious?
So repetition is the easiest for everybody, because if you think negative and you keep telling yourself positive, one day you'll brainwash yourself and you'll believe it. So one day it'll log into subconscious. But it's not the fastest way. The fastest way is the other two parts. The first part is cognitive reframing, meaning that everything that's programmed in our mind, how does it get there? Like some people will say, it gets there through conditioning. You say, yeah, but why does it stay there? It stays there because of memory. It's a very physical, it's a science. So how does memory work? Some people say, I have bad memory. And I say, the people who have bad memory, do you remember something from childhood? They say, yes. So I say, you don't have bad memory.
Exactly.
So you don't have bad memory.
True.
But you now have unconscious selective memory. So what is it memorizing? It's memorizing everything that is emotional to you. You see, on the stem of our brain, we have amygdala, which is in charge of emotions, and we have hippocampus, which is the long and short-term memory. So as long as it's got emotions, it logs in. So cognitive reframing is when we are going back and we're ripping out and we're changing the pain to the pleasure and the pleasure to the pain. And then we do the visualization or timeline therapy, and we can change that, you know. So I think cognitive therapy is very good. That's the first part. And then the second part is energy healing. So now we go woo-woo again. Yeah. So energy healing, we all have stored energy, memory, and it's stored in energy form. And the energy form, part of the body that it's stored in, people will say memory is stored in brain. Energetically, memory is stored in this lower belt. That's why we have this chakra system with the root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus, 3 chakras in the energy belt. And with a series of breath work and meditation and different practices, you can actually release all of the past traumas and past negativity. All negativity and all stuck energies are stuck there. Yeah. Actually, this reflects. I used to have a lot of it as well. It reflects in our physical body.
Okay.
Many people, it's normal to have blockages. So people think, oh, I got blockages, big problem. Not big problem. Because if you look at most people, I mean, you go to the gym, so you'll know this. When you lose weight, losing weight here is always easier. The last belt on the bottom is always stubborn. And you can sit up, you can diet, and it takes a long time, that last belt.
Yeah.
Why? Because our physical is a reflection of a metaphysical. So if there's a lot of energy that's stuck there and it's not broken down or it's not released, then the physical will just represent it. It will just be stuck there. That's why top side is easy. Bottom is always stuck. And so when I was in the mountains, my spiritual teacher, he taught me a breath work. It was crazy. So I did that breath work 10 minutes a day for just under a month. And then I lost 2 inches on my waist from doing breath work. Didn't change diet, didn't do any more or less exercise, exactly the same, just breath work. And then I realized that, the breath releases that old energy. Yeah. But that's only physical that I can see, because then through my manifestations, I realized that things came a lot faster. I tell you something, I hit 1 million subscribers on my YouTube channel a month after the Himalayan mountains.
No way.
And I had this thing, it was kind of like a barrier, a mental barrier or something, and
it's not
just wasn't happening. And then suddenly I just passed 1 million subscribers the month after. It just, people, like, if you look at all the videos during that time, everything went viral since I left the Himalayas. And this is why when you release that energetically, you do a big release as well and let new things come in. Yeah.
You know, I remember something very clearly. The first time we met in an event conference, press conference. And everybody was speaking about something. You came on the stage and you had the mic and you spoke about one particular thing. Do you remember that? No. Was about breathing and breath work. You know, I was surprised. Why breathing and the way we breathe is extremely important for people who really don't come from this angle or this direction. I 100% believe that breathing is important, and I believe as well I'm not breathing correctly. Why it was your speech at this event, press conference, and why breathing so much important, and how you see people are breathing? Like, is that's enough?
Most people are using maybe 20-30% of the lung, shallow breathing. And that's why people have a lot of stress. When you have a lot of stress, we know that it will affect the body. But aside from affect the body, because body, mind, spirit connection, everything's connected. So the flow of your energy is not as good. But when the flow of your energy is beautiful, then things flow into your life beautifully too. You manifest things very easily. Breath is life. It's every part of life. It's your energy. Your energy is everything. If you go to a business deal, if your energy is vibrant,
True.
you feel. Sometimes powerful people, they don't need to be good looking or anything, but they walk through the door, you feel their energy and you're like, whoa, there's something special about this person. You know, that's the aura. So how do you get that energy? The energy is when everything is flowing. So breath gives you that flow. Breath gives you life. And I always say to people, I say, if we look at nature, it's our easiest way to understand it. Like, if we look at just us humans, we breathe 30 to 40 times per minute. Yeah, just our normal breathing. And average life expectancy now is 70, 80, 90, whatever. Yeah, 70, 80, 90 years. If you look at a dog, for example, dog breathes like 70, 80, 90 times per minute.
True.
And what's their life expectancy? It's what, 10, 15 years? So shallow breath, shorter life. Now, if you take a turtle, breathes 1 to 3 times per minute, you got a few hundred years.
True.
When you look at nature, you'll understand. If we get depth of breath, just deep breathing, that will already change our state. We'll be calm all the time. We'll be stress-free. And I'm speaking this from a person who can be someone very angry, you know?
True.
You know? So it changes your life. It completely changes your life. You find happiness from it.
But what is the proper breathing that's not shallow? But what is it? Like,
Just start deep abdominal breathing. Just practice doing that all the time, as much as you can all the time. And then you just see everything in life is just calm, peaceful. People think that I don't get challenges in my life now, because they just see, oh, he's just peaceful every day. But I get challenges, but the challenges disappear very quickly because I don't think about it, you know? I just breathe, and then everything is okay.
To that level.
Like that. When I first moved to Dubai, I got scammed, $2.5 million.
Phew.
Yeah, it's 5 months in. That was my first experience of Dubai.
No way.
It was a big scam. Wow, crazy. They set up everything. Fake house, fake auntie, uncle, fake whatever. I went to meet the whole family. They met my family. Everyone met everyone. They went. Took me on their yacht. Took me on a complete scam. Complete plan. Like I sometimes think about it. I say, if you rewind, I will fall for it again because it's so perfect. They did so well. Yeah. So after, when I realized and the office was gone, everything was gone, everything disappeared, I could, what would I do? Most people would be very annoyed, you know? But for me, I was just like, okay, well, if I be annoyed, what can I do? So now I just have to breathe. So I just breathe. And then I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, wow, are you really testing me now? This is very, very funny, you know? And I think, okay, so there must be something to learn from here. So I learn and I keep moving. But these are non-affected, you know.
But this strength, because a lot of people will take the silence and taking things inside is a weakness, but that's an absolute strength when you control your emotions.
It is, if you know how to manage it. But that's what we're saying. If you manage it through breath, it's good. But the other problem is when people don't speak about it, but they're suppressing it. That's a problem, because that falls into depression. So breathwork will help depression, will help everything. It really is one key answer to everything. Just slow down your breathing.
You said one thing that strikes me so much, which is like life will test you so hard before it becomes a reality. What did you mean by that? Like, we all hustlers, is it true that life has to test me?
Okay, let us go back to before the woo-woo stuff, huh? Right. When people manifest what they want, they say, oh, thank you, God. When people manifest what they don't want, they say, why is this happening to me?
True.
If we understand that God is everything, then God is everything. So when they put a challenge there, what is it for? Why? Because God doesn't give you what you want. God gives you what you need. So when anything happens, any trouble, I just look up and I say, oh God, you think highly of me. So I think, okay, so you want me to grow again. And I just learn to grow. Every time I learn to grow, I find a solution, I learn to grow. And so I don't believe for one moment I've got the end of my challenges in this lifetime. And quite frankly, the challenges, they only get bigger. I mean, think about it. If you grow an organization, let's say from $1 million to 10 million, from 10 million to 50 million, from 50 to 100 million. When you make a mistake, later on, your mistakes are 10 times bigger.
True.
It doesn't, people think, oh, it gets easier the more money you have. No, because now you're investing in bigger things. You know, now you're investing 50 million into one thing.
Bigger, true.
And so when you lose 50 million in one go, no longer the debt you had before, which you were worried about when you lost 100,000, you know, so everything gets bigger. So if you need to play the game, you need to understand the game is that the high gets higher, the low also gets lower. Now some people will be afraid. They say, well, I don't want that much responsibility, then it's too hard. No, it's the same. Think about it. Like, if somebody outside right now, there could be people out there right now owing $5,000 in credit card and they're stressed. And then you have Elon Musk who accidentally breaks his own Tesla window and then goes down 500 million in one day, and it's okay. Bigger problems doesn't mean bigger worry. It's your resilience. You learn. You learn, actually, if I'm calm through this problem, it's my training ground, you know? So, I mean, I only know that I will only get bigger challenges in future, and the bigger challenges is only so that, I can learn to be even bigger now.
Better and better.
It's like that.
A lot of people, since we're talking about the challenges, have fears, regardless what type of fear. Fear of judgment, fear of failure. From a master of spirituality, how do you see fear? You know, like in Islam, it's like, we fear nobody except God.
Like fear, people try to get rid of fear. I stopped trying to get rid of fear. And people say, how do you get rid of fear? I said, don't. Like, why? Like, learn, I mean, think about how you jump out of a plane. If you're just about to go skydiving, do you go, I've got a fear of jumping over off a plane. Can you do some therapy on me? No, you see it, you fear, you jump.
True.
Everything in life is the same, you know? And the reason why we'll always have fear, if you don't have fear in your life, you're not growing. If I'm going to open this door, I walk through, I've walked it before, now I have no fear. Now, what am I going to do next year? I must open the next door. Otherwise, I'm going to stay in the same place. If I open the next door, I've never been there, am I going to fear? 100% I'm going to fear again. So just embrace fear. You get used to it, you know? People entertain fear. That's the problem. Yeah. They think about the fear. Don't think about the fear. Just think about, okay, what outcome am I working towards? And then go for the outcome. You know, because what we focus on expands. So keep focusing on the thing we want, not the thing we don't want. Yeah.
What is the best thing that people can deal with fear? Best thing, just like forget about it, shut your brains, because our brains put the fear in ourselves 100%. It's done for survival, created for survival purposes. So what is the advice? Like, okay, everybody fears in a way or another. What is the best way? Like, shut your brains for a couple of seconds and do the thing that fears you. Like, a lot of people have cold calls fear, like salespeople. I'm afraid to make a call. And what are the kind of strategies or tactics people can really implement to just go ahead?
If we look at it from a spiritual standpoint, we have two voices. One is this fear voice, and one is what we want voice, the desire, the outcome we want. So when fear happens, it's saying, what if they reject you? What if it goes wrong? What if they don't like you? This is this side. Usually we have dialogue. We have a communication with this guy. We're like, I don't know. Yeah, it'd probably be bad. I wouldn't like that. But when this is talking, we should be looking this way. Just saying, what's the best that can happen? It's just focus. It's a diversion of focus. That's all it is.
The positive part.
It's like, if you take something like, take something like, we do YouTube, we do videos, right? It doesn't matter how positive we are. If I take my last video and I swipe down the comments, there's going to be some haters.
Of course.
How many people watching? How many people? Of course, there's going to be people disagree with you. Now, if I keep looking for it, I'm going to find more and more and more and more and more. But the thing is, I shouldn't look at, why am I looking for it? Many people are looking for those things, but you shouldn't look for it. When you focus on it, you're going to get more of it. So now I don't focus on that because it's why has that got anything to do with me?
Pushes you back.
So we just keep focusing on what we want to achieve and keep going.
A lot of people these days focus on money, abundance, wealth. I saw a lovely video of you on YouTube, how to attract abundance. And the first one, and I want you to tell us, because that's a very important topic for a lot of people. The first one you mentioned was come to a vibrant city like Dubai. I loved this video. Can you take us through this kind of a couple of points, how to attract wealth, abundance?
I think environment is very important. Yeah. Since being in Dubai, in just the past 3 years, our wealth portfolio has like 10x just by being here. But the reason behind it is because it's you see everything is the best here.
True.
The tallest building in the world, the number one whatever park, whatever slide, the longest whatever, the biggest trampoline park, the biggest everything. I remember when I first moved here, when we were opening up our yoga center, I just spent a few months here and then we said, okay, let's open our yoga center. Then the team says, okay, so how big do we need the space? I said, find out what the biggest yoga center here is in Dubai. And then they gave the amounts. How many people can it fit? They said, how many? I said, okay, let's get one bigger than that. If I was still in the UK,
True.
I wouldn't think like that. But it happened automatically. I didn't make an effort to think like that. It's just because I'm brainwashed every day by everything is number one. And I think, oh, then I should go for number one. And I think what's really interesting is, and I think sometimes people don't understand that, making 100 million is as easy as making 10 million. Making 10 million is as easy as making 1 million. Making 1 million is as easy as making 100K. I think people don't understand that when it comes to money. When you focus on something, there's a saying that says, where focus goes, energy flows and results show. If I focus on, let's say if somebody was saying, oh, I need $10,000, they'll probably be scratching their head thinking, where am I going to get $10,000? Wait. So they'll finally come up with a thing. If they really need it, they'll think, okay, I can ask this person or that person. So now, whatever strategy you use for $10,000, now I say, what if it was life-threatening, and instead of $10,000 you need to find in 2 weeks, you need to find 100,000 or 1 million. What would your strategy be? Oh, well, if 1 million, then I probably need to find someone like that instead. Exactly. So your strategy changes when your goal changes.
True.
So then it's like this is something I wish I knew when I was younger. Then I wouldn't say, because everyone thinks there's a ladder. Let me make 100K first, and then let me open a little cafe first. Then I'll open the restaurant. Then I'll open. And I'm like, no, actually, if you aim for the top one first, you'll find it takes the same time and it's the same stress actually.
True. I love that.
It is like that. I mean, look now. You have so many teenagers, millionaires, crypto millionaires, and all these 20-year-olds, you know. And then here's some people still in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and still thinking, oh, let's one step at a time. You're missing the point. True. You can just aim for the top and go for the top now.
So you believe that the circle or the city where you're in pushes you for the wealth, the abundance, and, correct?
Yeah, your environment is everything.
If I go to the second one, what would be the second one? You mentioned, let me put, because it's interesting, because my father taught me this. Move with cash. The credit card, debit cards, F it in a way, and move with real cash. Why is that? And I never understood it from him,
right?
But I followed him because he's a kind of mentor to me. So like, okay, let me move forward with cash.
Well, this is for those who like law of attraction. If you open a wallet, if you open your wallet and it's empty, it's got some cards. Like every time you open the wallet, how do you feel? Well, it's just got some cards. You don't feel anything really. It's empty. But every time you open your wallet and you got loads of cash there, how do you feel? You're feeling slightly different. You're feeling like, oh, I got a lot of money. Even though it's half of your money or all of your money that's from your bank is in there, every day you look at it, you just feel, oh, I'm more abundant. It's a feeling. You feel different. When you feel different, what do? You walk different. You talk different. You smile more.
True.
Everything. And then when you do that, your chances of, your opportunities are a lot more. You know, no, who's gonna do business with somebody who's like really sad all the time?
True.
No, if your energy is just high, people just want to know, I want a piece of that. What's up with that dude? You know, so
100%.
it changes your energy. Yeah.
what else people can do to really start, I would say, attracting wealth to them? So these are like your environment, your circle, law of attraction of the money. I've been using this kind of method, it worked well with me. What else they can do to try to attract wealth?
Well, actually, I think if we're going to cover another one, I think we have to get to some solid action. Like, otherwise they'll just be bringing cash everywhere and hoping everything will work, you know. There's the strategy, you know.
True.
Make money strategy is actually very simple. I think the only two things people need to always understand, right? Number one is value. Like, basically, you are just looking to provide value to people to the market, as many people as you can. What is valuable for other people? A lot of people who start businesses, they think wrong because they think, oh, I really like this thing. I don't care if you like it. Do other people like it? If you have a lot of people liking something, you know, if I say, oh, I really like this thing, we should do this business. Will this make me money? I don't know. If loads of people want this thing, now I know it will make me money. So I think the first thing is just find something of value to other people. And if there's loads of people wanting that thing, then that's the first thing you need to find, you know? And another thing as well, when people think of value, they think, oh, well, does that mean I need to make my own thing? Well, yeah, if you want to be slower at it, yeah. If you want to make money fast, then just find who's the manufacturer, who's the distributor, just get it and just pass it through, you know? Everybody's trying to create, I want to create my brand, I want to create you're slowing things down, actually. I would say your first pot of gold, you're easier just drop shipping or finding something easier, faster. So that's the first part, the value part. The second part has to do with your marketing and your sales. Like that's everything. Like visibility and conversion, your ability to communicate is everything. When growing up a shy boy, how you think selling, speaking? No way at all. But the good thing is communication you can learn. Once you learn it, guess what? It's you'll be free. You'll be free forever, just because you know how to do this. You know, I never worry now, and that's another thing about fear. Now, I mean, like the projects, we're investing in some projects now, land project here in Dubai, we're investing in Metaverse and blockchain and all this. It's millions of dollars. I've never invested so much in my life before. People say, do not fear. What if it doesn't work out? What if you lose it all? I say, I don't fear, because this will stay with me forever. You know, I will never not be highly paid. There was not a chance. You know, I believe even if I said who has a business and who has a product, right? I want to be your highest paid person in your business. And they say, based on what? Based on, I have around 4 or 5 million following online and I can sell anything to anyone.
True.
Do you want me? Everyone wants me. I've only got those skills. I understand. If I understand what people want and then I understand how to communicate it to them, it's the biggest skill. So I think everybody needs to be good at those skills.
You had this attitude or character back in the days. Like now you're speaking from a position, like I have 4 or 5 million followers. That's why you're confident of what value you can bring. But for people who don't have the value right now, but they believe in themselves that they're going to have that in the future. What about you? Back in the days, what was
you have to brainwash yourself. Yeah, like they say, fake it to make it. You have to brainwash yourself. You have no choice.
True.
You know, I started as a speaker when I was 25, 26, 25. And I remember that first event I spoke at, and my mom was there. My mom came backstage and she said, son, there's a lot of people out there. And I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? And he said, son, do you know what's really weird? Some people, there's really old people out there. They have so much experience. Do you think they'll still listen to you? I was thinking, oh, will they listen to me? You know, I'm just a kid, you know. I'm going to go out and teach business, you know. And then what can you do? Am I going to go out there and just, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. No, you have to go out there. Yes, this is how to do it.
True.
Confidence goes a long way, you know. And the thing is, the more you're confident about it and you fake it to yourself, you brainwash yourself to be confident, and then your energy changes, and then you attract more, and you become more successful. You just become stronger and stronger.
True. I have a couple of questions. I would say maybe even a lot of people watching us will say, okay, I want to start my spiritual journey. I believe in it, but I don't know where to start. Is there a path to it, or there is a particular time that your time will come for it?
When you feel you're ready, then you will find someone. You'll find a guide. You'll find a spiritual master. You'll find a spiritual teacher. You'll find, When you're ready, you'll look for it. And when you look for it, you'll find it. It's like that.
It happens. Like there is a moment of time that comes.
It'll happen. Yeah. Either you're looking for it or it will find you. Yeah, because for me, it found me. Yeah.
You never questions how it found you.
I know.
How? It's interesting to know.
When I finished my journey in the Himalayas, and I went back to the UK, and because I had to change my name and everything like that, when I changed my passport name, everything, my mom, I thought, oh, my mom and dad's going to be very upset I'm changing my birth name. And then she brought out a newspaper cutting from 1986. And it has me, baby me there. And it was during Chinese New Year. I was sat on holding the drumsticks on a drum, Chinese New Year. And on the reporter had written, Master Eric Ho trying his skills on the drums. My mom showed me, she said, I've got this newspaper, you might want to see it. And I seen Master Eric Ho. I said, this is really what is going on. I said, what is this thing? And then when that happened, I showed my spiritual master. He said, everything is always already there. And then he said, you said that you were never spiritual. What happened in your upbringing? And then I recalled back, I said, when I was a child, my dad used to do all these spiritual practices because they, Chinese triads, gangsters, they go out to fight. Yeah. They do all this praying and everything before they go out to fight, And he used to get me to do all this chanting and all this spiritual stuff. And now I recall back, I said, a lot of the things I'm doing now, actually, it was already shaped. It was already like my dad already told me to do things. Yeah. My brother used to get a nosebleed. I used to go and do something like this energy stuff. When I was a kid, when I was like 9, 10, I used to do this stuff. And and it just all came back and I said, it was always there. It was always supposed to be there. It's nothing new.
So a question. So you believe that people should, I would say, leave themselves and follow a path, kinda, to reach this spiritual level or start a spiritual journey?
No. Nobody needs to do anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like you like clubbing, partying, whatever. You like making money, make more of it. You like more sports cars, whatever. Go do that. Whatever. You like yoga, then do yoga. Don't do anything no. People always say to me, they say, oh, you don't eat meat, so I need to be vegan. You do whatever you want to do. Because my journey was simple. I made so much money, I don't know how to spend it. Then I got lost. But I lost, then I got found. If I tell people how to live their life right now, how will that help them? It's like if you tell a child, don't climb on that thing. They will never learn. They don't. You need to fall. So, chase what you think is success. Don't listen to this spiritual, so I need to be spiritual. No, you chase it. One day you'll chase it so far, and maybe they'll reach a lost time. You're confused. But lost is part of the journey. People always say, what am I doing? I'm so lost. I said, lost is good, because lost and found. You will never find yourself until you lose yourself. So lose yourself. I think the one thing that was very normal for me was I was good at losing myself. Just go. Whatever I do fully. If I drink more than everyone. If I buy things, I buy more than everyone. If I want to make money, I want to make more than everyone. And then you get yourself lost. And then you come to a lot of answers from there. So I think just live whatever you want to live. And then one day maybe this today's conversation podcast show may come back and say, oh, wait there.
I heard that. I love that. There is another part which there are a lot of people, I know meditation is important. To meditate calms you down, make you better think. But there are a lot of people, they cannot meditate. There is a blockage somewhere? Or how you advise? Why I'm saying this? Because I can't meditate. If I meditate, I'm going to sleep. Either my brains are, once I let it to rest, or I can't meditate because my thoughts are everywhere. I'm like, if I stay in silence, what's the problem? Because a lot of people, I believe, have the same issue as me.
There's many practices for many things. So calming the mind is one thing. Calming the mind is not achieved through meditation. Calming the mind is achieved through breath work. We naturally do it. When somebody's very stressed, what do?
True.
It doesn't naturally.
True.
We know that breath work helps calm the mind and calm ourselves. So do more of breath work will calm the mind. Then you have less thinking. You won't be all over the place. That's the first thing. The second thing is when, like you said, a lot of people when they meditate, they fall asleep. This has to do with how our energy is moving. If for example, our energy isn't all flowing, and maybe there's more places that's stuck, then it's easy to fall asleep. You know, just like when we eat too much, all the energy is stuck here, so we fall asleep.
True.
But if energy is flowing a lot, like let's say if you go for a run, you're not going to just suddenly fall asleep while running because your energy is moving. So that's why when we do our yoga practice, we're trying to move our energy to get the energy flowing, you know? So I think that would be a good recommendation for people falling asleep. And then the final thing about focusing. Some people it's because they're trying to visualize something and they cannot focus. You do not do meditation to practice focusing. You do focusing to practice focusing. So even Bruce Lee used to practice this. You just draw one dot and then just look at that dot. Keep your eyes there. And you just keep focusing. We do that 10 minutes a day. You know, we usually do it with a candle light. We look at it 10 minutes a day. You just keep looking at it. Your eyes want to blink, keep looking at it. Keep focusing. Very good practice, especially for people who have like ADHD and things. I'm very ADHD brain, so that was very good practice for me. Now I can focus more on one thing. Very important.
Wow, I love that. If I want to move a little bit quickly to dreams. Manifestation and dreams. What happens in our dreams? And from a spiritual standpoint, or what can dreams do to us?
Dreams affect everything. But right now, this is also a dream. It's the same. If we, at night time, we leave here. That's why people can go into your room, take something you won't know, because your consciousness lives here. Your metaphysical has gone. You're physical here, but your metaphysical is gone. That's why you don't know. So when your metaphysical gone, where does it go? Well, it will wake up in different dimension, and then it will try to remember this dream we had today, here now. It's the same. So when we sleep, we wake. When we wake, we sleep. It's the same thing. But we don't have to be so, because sometimes people say, but how do I, how does that make sense? Give me the science behind it. Actually, I don't need to give the science behind it, because if I just say something basic. If you had a nightmare last night, when you wake up, does it change your mood? Yes.
True.
If your emotions have changed, do you take different actions? Do you look at people different? Do you speak to people? Yes. If you speak and take different actions, does your result change? Yes. So does dreams affect now? Of course. You look at very logically. Let's not go crazy right now. Just very logically. You already know it does. So it affects everything. But dreams is very deep, because dreams then will go into multi-dimensional beings that we are, future, past, everything. We live everywhere, like in every dimension, and only humans think that time is linear, that it's one straight line, but it's not. And that's why we jump. We say people call it parallel jumping or dimension traveling or what, but it's very simple to understand, because sometimes people have deja vu.
True.
I've seen this before. So you just glimpse, glitch. Oh, okay. You've had it before. We've had these moments. People have pre-assumptions. I think something's gonna. Oh, whoa! I just thought about that. It just happened. Why? It's like that. We're accessing all dimensions. That's why we know these things.
Do we control our dreams?
Most people don't consciously control their dreams, and that's the problem. So in our practices, we do a lot of dream work to know how to navigate through dream, to bring consciousness into dream. When we can bring consciousness into dream, we can manifest things there, and then it will change what's in this reality. That form of manifestation is far more powerful than manifestation just in this dimension. In human world, we need to hustle physically. To make money, we need to hustle physically. When we say there's an energy blockage, we don't know where the energy blockage is because we do not see it. In dream, we see it. In dream, we understand that there's a barrier we always hit. Sometimes people can have the same nightmare over and over and over again. They can be chased and they get to the same place and they wake up every single time. And they don't know why it's happening. But it's certain that if you're being challenged in some dream, that in this physical reality, there's some breakthrough you're not able to break through. Because that energy affects this energy. We already talked about that before, we know. Now, in our practices, what we learn to do now is to consciously go into dream. And when we consciously go into dream, let's say we're being chased, we can turn back and consciously know that it's an illusion. So in spirituality, we have this understanding of Maya is illusion, goddess of illusion. Everything is illusion. And so the moment we understand and we face being chased, then that will disappear. When that disappears and we come back into this reality, we'll find whatever that challenge we had before, making money, finding love, it will just manifest. And so we often do this type of work because it's a lot more powerful than trying to hustle and grind in this physical reality.
I love it. And I believe a lot of people watching us will have the question, okay, I want to start to attract good things, abundance, wealth, money, perfect wife, perfect husband, whatever it is. How do you start the journey? I know that you have a platform called Iamverse, am I correct? Where you connect with all your students worldwide. So these people can apply to your program and coaching, am I correct?
Yeah, well, we have many programs going on.
How long does it take to make a person remove the blockage, becomes...
Everybody's different. So I think it just depends on their own journey. And yeah. So I think, there's many things. It depends what their goal is. If their goal is, spirituality, the spiritual journey, then we have the programs for that. If the goal is making money, we have the programs for that. But whatever program I teach or any of our teachers teach in our academy, it will always incorporate the physical and the metaphysical. Because that's how I live.
True.
I don't just do one of the things, I do both sides. Yeah.
I love it. But can you tell us a little bit about Iamverse so people watching us? So Iamverse is like a kind of platform?
Actually, Iamverse is our metaverse that we're building. So we're building the most hyper-realistic metaverse in the world right now, because everything still looks like avatars and like cartoons. So we're building that right now. That's exciting. But the part of the Iamverse that is for the personal development and spiritual growth is called the Academy by Iamverse. I think if people want information, I think it's best just to find it through the YouTube because I'll have plenty of links. Yeah, we also offer many free courses as well for people to try out as well. So yeah, probably
I will leave it in the description.
Yeah,
for anybody interested to go into the spiritual journey, money making, wealth making, that's the right place. I want to ask you a question. What was your favorite failure to date? What was a failure that happened to you that you're grateful for?
Favorite failure. Yeah, if it's monetary, if it's to do with wealth, it would be when I was 26, moving 27. I wanted to. I had a goal to be a billionaire before I was 30, and I was very ambitious, and I was very fearless, or you can say very naive at the same time. So I was in steel recycling then, and then it was making millions. But there was a copper deal. The copper deal would make a lot more than the steel business. So I took all my money at the time and some more, and I threw it all into buying copper and shipped it all off to China. When I shipped it all off to China, because I didn't know much about copper, but I didn't realize that the contamination was too much what we sent over. And basically, the people who we signed the contract with didn't want the stock. So they said, we don't want it. And I said, but all my money's in China and it's on the sea, and you don't want it. What do I do? Not only that, they started, because it was many, many thousands of tons, they invoiced us every single day for all the port landing charges, penalties for all the contracts, everything. And basically, I was probably losing a few 100,000 daily or something. Like literally, there's just more and more bills. Yeah.
Take it back.
So I was, I would say, on the verge of bankruptcy then, because I had the worst credit then during that time in UK, and I was driving an Aston Martin at the time, and I remember I was hiding in my room because the bailiffs were coming. They knocked on the door and they clamped my Aston Martin. I was annoyed. I was frustrated. That was before the spiritual journey, I was annoyed. And I even remember, and it's quite funny because in our office, I think even our team don't know this, but in our office, I have a sledgehammer. Mm-hmm. They've probably seen it before inside our Zoom room. I kept that sledgehammer because that was a good memory for me. I went to buy a sledgehammer to hammer that clamp off my car because I was so annoyed with the people. I said, "You're not taking my car," And that all happened. And anyway, long story short, a few months later, our team, actually, credit to our team at the time, found a buyer out in Morocco to take the stock that I had there. And so we managed to recoup £8 million, which wasn't all of it, but at least I didn't go bankrupt. And we managed to pay the things off over some time. But why I say that was my biggest challenge and my favorite one is because back then we used to strike deals maybe of a few 100,000 per month maximum. Like that would be like our best deals. Our team was always doing that. But because we instantly had like a $15 million debt, our team had no choice but to think, how do we make $15 million now? Instead of, we literally dropped our current business. We said, what's the point? Everything we're doing every single month will never be able to pay off this hole right now. And that's why I shared that thing before. I said, if you think bigger, you'll realize it's the same. It takes the same effort. So anyway, 1 year later, we became the largest exporters in the UK, doing 46,000 tons a year of scrap steel and rubber. Wow. We grew up to 4 factories. We became 4 times bigger.
What was the lesson? Is shoot for the skies? Or what was this lesson in that?
Yeah, I think that was one of them. I think one of them was that, if you're going to be thinking anyway, might as well think big, But aside from that as well, one big lesson I really learned for myself, and as I carry it through till today, is that when you stay solution focused, you will find a solution. There really is no challenge too big. Back then, I really thought, there was moments where I was getting ready to move back to mom's house. I was mentally, there were so many points where, okay, I'm done, I'm finished. I even had a thought, I'll probably just move myself to Hong Kong, disappear, and forget everything happened. Or I even had thought that I might move to Kenya and just stay with my kids. I'm happy there. I gave myself so many things, and all I had to do was stay solution focused. And then I found a way out of something that was what at the time felt impossible. And so now that's why I think there's many more bigger challenges that happen after that. But after that, I always remember that time, and it always gives me strength to know that I can always get out of it.
I can handle it.
Yeah.
If I flip this question, and what is the proudest moment to date?
I think being able to retire my mom and dad at an early age. Nothing can beat that.
True.
Because my parents fled from Hong Kong very young age to try and, live a better life. And they came from farmland, very poor. And they worked their whole life just for us kids. Their whole life. We were the center of that attention, and it was only for the future. That was the only thing they ever wanted, When they bought anything, they would always buy us the best, and they would always have the second. And so I think personally, the proudest thing is to be able to fly mom and dad everywhere and just let them enjoy, and whatever they want, just go get it, enjoy it, live it. Yeah.
Can I ask you a personal question? When I ask you a question, I don't know even how to say it. I see that your eyes are going somewhere, not here. Where does it go?
I think it's just going to the place where it's giving me the answer.
But literally, like whatever the question I'm asking is, I see that, I don't know, like you're going somewhere through your eyes and it's translating to the speech. But it's literally, that's what I see.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Yeah. But I think when I think about, let's say, my mom and my dad, then I'm with them. When I think about my children in Kenya, I'm with them. When I think about a situation, I'm with them.
I love that. Since we're in the Alpha Talks show, I have a question that I ask.
We should have an arm wrestle, huh?
We have a nugget question where I ask the Alpha guest, how do you define an Alpha from your perspective?
How did I?
Define an Alpha.
Alpha. I think Alpha is very important. And I think it's even more important in today's world. Because I think, actually, I know in spirituality, everything is moving towards what they call divine feminine power. And that's all great when people know how to access it properly. But the problem is when grown men are getting lost in feminine energy.
True.
And they are failing to protect or failing to look after or failing to, for security, they're failing this now. And that's why a lot of society is also failing because of it. So if I look at Alpha, I think it's a defining part that it must be there, because it's power, it's protection, it's strength, it's courage. And I think it's very much needed in today's society.
I love the definition. There is a section we have. I'll make this a little. It's called the Alpha Quickfire. So I'll ask you a couple of quick questions. So are you ready for that?
Yes.
So what is the biggest misconception about spirituality?
That spirituality is separate from physical and material.
One book that has changed your life.
Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now.
One habit you never skip.
Gratitude.
What's one thing people should stop doing immediately?
I'm guessing that your audience will be mostly men. Stop wasting too much time on women.
What's one belief you had to unlearn to level up?
One belief I had to learn?
Stop. Yeah, unlearn.
Unlearn. That I think there was one point I thought money was bad. No, money is good. Money is amazing. Money is the best.
True.
Yeah.
What is success to you in one word?
Success is happiness.
What is the number one mindset shift that changed your life?
Discipline.
Money, love, or purpose? What drives you the most?
Purpose.
If you had 10 seconds to inspire the world, what would you say?
Connect with the divine. Know that you're powerful. Know that you're one with God. Know that you can have it all at the same time, need nothing at all.
If you've lost everything today, what is the first thing that you're going to do?
Go to Kenya and just spend some time with the kids.
If you could teach children one lesson, what this lesson would be?
Believe in themselves.
From a young age.
You can achieve anything you want to achieve as long as you put your mind to it.
What is something that someone has told you that hurted you and you never forgotten?
That I can't sing.
If you describe yourself in one word, what's going to be?
I'm everything. Everyone and everything.
Oof. That's a strong one. Have you ever gotten alpha level advice? An advice that really changed your life?
I think my dad. Yeah, he told me, everything you do, be the best at what you do. And I've always had that winning spirit.
Phew, I love that. What will be the last message you want to leave the audience with today?
Be willing to make mistakes. Whatever you feel, just do it. Don't be afraid to fall over. Because it takes the falling over to find the new you. The you who will fulfill your purpose. So just keep going. Just feel it and do it. Stop overthinking.
I love it. People watching us now and like, oh my God, like all the alphas, men and women, so like, oh, okay, I want to connect with him. How do they connect with you the easiest way?
I think best YouTube or Instagram.
YouTube or Instagram. I'll leave the details in the description of the episode. And before we finish the episode, we have a section in the podcast. It's called the Alpha Talks Memoir. So the Alpha Talks Memoir is a memoir where the alpha guest, after we stop shooting, you will write the experience in the show, and you will write a question to the next alpha guest. That's a way of making the alpha guest connect, but nobody knows who's writing the question. So that means that you need to answer a question with the previous alpha guest. So are you ready for that?
Okay, yes.
I didn't know the question, so like I'm also, and sometimes trying to decode the doctor's handwriting, you know? So if there is one thing you can change in your life, and it takes superpower to change it, what it would be?
If there's one thing
in your life that you need to change, and you know you want to change, and it needs really a superpower, like something that's super hard to change.
time travel.
Proof.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Time travel. You can
Why?
correct anything. You can do anything.
I love how you said it, to correct everything.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Why correct?
Because you can just have any result you want. You could just go again and again and again until you get it right.
True.
Yeah. But on another note as well, time travel is real too. It's possible.
Real. It's possible.
I think that will have to take another episode.
Of course. I am interested in it before the viewers. Really, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you so much, brother.
It's been a pleasure and an honor as well. We've been trying to make it happen for a long period of time. I'm super happy, and I believe all the viewers, the audience, will really enjoy this episode. And I always wish you all the happiness, the health, and wealth that you deserve. Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
That wraps another inspiring episode of today's show. I hope that this episode has ignited your inner alpha and left you feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to conquer any challenge that comes your way. Remember, alphas aren't born, they're made. It isn't about dominating others, it's about embracing your authenticity, leading with integrity, and making a positive impact on the world. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the Alpha Talks on your favorite podcast platform. Leave us a review and share the podcast with your fellow alphas. Also connect with us on social media at Seif El Hakim. Share your thoughts, insight, and stories of personal and business growth with us. Let's create a movement of alphas supporting one another. The world needs more alphas like you exactly. Until next time, stay bold, stay driven, and stay alpha.